Welcome everyone to another episode of the Big D Show. We are live here on the Negdog Radio Network. It is Tuesday, February the 23rd. It is officially 6:32 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And of course, it is version 1.49. And we are gone with the wind today. Another day blowing by in the sports world. And I hope another great day for you in your world. I want to thank you for joining us today. Of course, you can call us live in the studio, 657-383-1868. This episode is brought to you by All American Clothing. Be sure to use the links at negdog.com, and as well as the links for all of our sponsors and affiliates at negdog.com. And you will receive an exclusive bonus from the Negdog Radio Network and the Big D Show. We will be joined by Julia Cole, hopefully, here in the studio. Of course, she's busy running around, but we are expecting her to get on the show with us. Be sure to call in to talk to Julia, 657-383-1868. We will be playing her two newest singles, #GetAwesome and Texas Freefall. Call in and let me know which one you want to hear first. 657-383-1868. Of course, we're going to be giving you all of our latest lineups and DraftKings. Going to be giving you our plays of the day for Bovada, and it's just going to be a great day on the show. And I want to thank everyone for joining me once again. Today's moment in sports history brought to you by Infidel Body Armor. Wilt Chamberlain, 1968. Wilt Chamberlain of the Philadelphia 76ers became the first player in NBA history to score 25,000 career points, and that is our moment in sports history brought to you by Infidel Body Armor. Let me know what you think. Wilt still was a great player. I think possibly top 5 in NBA history. Let me know what you think. 657-383-1868. I am joined by intern Sean in the studio today. Sean, how's it going out there, man?
It's going pretty good, man. Just chilling out here in Dom's Diner, man. Dog pound getting pretty live tonight. You already know how it is. Got to keep him on a leash.
Oh, yeah, but they can't cage us in. And, of course, we went 3-0 last night on Bovada. Absolutely killed it. Hit the parlay. And we will be going for yet another tonight. Do not miss my picks later in the show for the NBA and the NHL tonight, because I can promise you I think I've got another lock parlay. I told you last night, sometimes you miss a little bit, but when you get in that groove and you hit, sometimes you got to just go with the momentum, and you got it. And I think we've got it right now, ladies and gentlemen, and it should be another great night for us in the handicapping world. Sean, any game in particular tonight you're interested in?
Not tonight, man. I'm still stuck on the close call you almost had yesterday with Texas over Kansas State, man. It was only by 1 point. It came down to the wire.
Well, folks, that's why I tell you to take them straight sometimes. But, Texas showed their resiliency last night against a tough Kansas State team. And sometimes they have to pull out those tough victories to show that they really are a tournament team. What did you think about that performance, Sean? You want to touch on that game a little bit? I didn't really get a chance to watch it.
Yeah, neither did I. I just watched a little bit of review on it, man. And, Kansas State had the lead, up until the fourth quarter. And it was a tough one, man. But Kansas State did fall. I was a little bit upset about it.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes it's best not to pick against Big D, man. I mean, our guests have seen that over the shows. I mean, they continue to pick against me, and we continue to win night after night. And I hope you, the fan out there, are rolling right along with us because we are trying to go big here in 2016. Anybody got anything out there particular they want to talk about? 657-383-1868. I'm going to move on to some Champions League action from earlier today. And, of course, we saw the greatness of Lionel Messi yet again. My Cannons go down 0-2 in the first round. Arsenal in this round of 16, the first leg. Going to be tough for Arsenal to come back and win. They're going to have to score 3 goals to win outright in the next game, or score 2-0 in order to force an overtime against Barcelona. It's going to be very difficult, but nothing that can't be done. Of course, Messi with 2 goals today, showing what a true legend he is. Sean, what do you think about Messi's performance?
Messi, man, coming out with the only 2 goals of the game, and he's just an animal, man. It's pretty interesting, man, because, you hear so much about him, and I don't watch a lot of soccer, but it's just someone you hear about, kind of like if you don't watch the NBA, you know who Steph Curry is, you know who LeBron James is. If you watch some soccer, man, 2 of the biggest people that stand out are obviously Ronaldo and Messi just coming through with 2 goals last night. Pretty interesting. I was watching them, man. They, obviously a lot of teamwork, and I think that's why that team has so much success. It's just the teamwork that they show on the field.
Yeah, they're definitely loaded with talent. But going live now, I think we have Julia Cole in the studio, so we're going to go ahead and bring her in. Julia, is this you?
This is me.
Well, welcome to the Dog Pound. You are live on the Big D Show. I want to thank you so much for joining us. How are you doing today?
I'm great. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for joining us. Really, it is a pleasure to have you. Of course, we're going to be playing your music here coming up at the halftime break and then to close it down. Still haven't gotten a decision from the fans out there which song they want to hear first. Hashtag Get Awesome or Texas Freefall. Call into the studio if you want to talk to Julia, 657-383-1868. So, Julia, for our fans out there and listeners who aren't familiar with you, give us a little bit of your background. Kind of introduce yourself a little bit and, tell the fans maybe where you're from and kind of a little bit about your upbringing.
Awesome. Well, I'm from Houston, Texas, and I actually got my start singing national anthems for my own volleyball and basketball games. Then one day my volleyball coach told me, hey, you should send in, a video of you singing the anthem to the Houston Texans and see if they want you to sing for them. And everything just started going crazy after that because I got selected to sing the national anthem for the Texans, and then I started doing it for everything in Houston, the Astros, Dynamo, NASA, everything you think of. And when I was in front of 75,000 people singing and I wasn't nervous at all, I knew that this was what I was meant to do. So
yeah, that's for sure. Did you so basically you were singing the anthem for your own games in high school, so I'm assuming you're an athlete, of course. First of all, can you tell us a little bit maybe about what sport? As this is a sports talk show, our listeners love to hear that. A lot of our guests have actually been former athletes. And I guess basically you were told by everyone at the gymnasium or whatnot that you were an incredible singer, and then it kind of just blew up from there.
Honestly, that's really how it happened. My coach was like, you really should send something into them. And I was like, okay, I guess. And turns out it's definitely what I was meant to do. So the sports I play, man, I've played so many sports. I've played soccer, tennis, basketball, track, cross country, but my main and favorite sport is volleyball. And I also love running. Track and volleyball were the two that I did most fervently. And I actually ran the marathon in Nashville, too, the Music City Marathon. So sports are definitely right up my alley. And it's taught me a lot. You know, sports taught me how to persevere, how to work with a team, and also the importance of teamwork. And it's crazy how much everything translates from working in an athletic environment to anything else, whether it be a corporate environment or the music industry. It really has helped.
Wow, that's incredible. So kind of give us a little bit about the experience. I said, your first time out at the Houston Texans game, you're doing the national anthem there. Kind of give us a little bit about the experience, I guess, moving on from there. How did you progress? Were you approached by a label, or, how did you get into writing your own music and not just singing?
I started writing songs because I'd already played piano since I was like 5 years old. My mom made me take lessons. Obviously, we fought about it, and now she gets to say, "I told you so," over and over again. But I am very thankful that she made me. But I played piano, and I was already a writer. Like by the time I was in high school, I was a published poet. I wrote a book in high school. I took an independent study and wrote like a 500-page book. And I really wanted to go to college to major in creative writing. Like that was the goal. I was going to, play a sport and major in creative writing. That was the plan. And then this music kind of let me combine everything, because I get to sing at sporting events, which is really fun, but I also get to write and perform and sing as my living. And it's definitely crazy how much everything came together. My writing and instruments and then vocals, like all of it got married, and I started working on perfecting the craft of songwriting. I've taken classes here in Nashville. Basically, once I realized music was what I wanted to do, I knew I needed to come to Nashville. So I only applied to one school. I came to Vanderbilt University and started grinding from freshman year. I was, doing my classes during the day, and as soon as class was over, was walking to Music Row, and you'd see this blonde girl walking down the sidewalk with this big guitar on her back and a backpack. And that was me. I was hauling it back and forth from Vandy to Music Row.
That's incredible. And for everyone out there listening, I've got to say one thing. You've heard all of the things Julia says she's able to do. Diversify your portfolio, and it will lead to success. As she said, she's able to now kind of marry everything that she's liked to do over the years, that she's learned how to do, and now incorporates it in what she does now. So I think that's incredible. I can imagine being able to balance all these different things you were doing with the music and sports and all of that going crazy with your college life. I can imagine that was pretty difficult to balance all at once, correct?
It was. I definitely had to learn how to prioritize, and it became easier once I knew what the end goal was. I knew music was what I wanted to do, so that became 100% my focus. And obviously I knew I needed my grades to stay up, because I needed to stay here at Vanderbilt, needed to keep the parents happy. And because Vanderbilt was the only reason I got to be in Nashville. I had housing and a meal plan, so it really helped me through those first 4 years of just networking and trying to meet people and learn what the industry and city is all about.
Yeah, that was a
but
definite,
I
think, advantage as far as being able to network in a great music city like that. I think that was a definite smart opportunity on your part.
And it was basically my part-time job. How everyone comes to Nashville who wants to be they're a starving musician, so they work at the coffee shop and the restaurant. Everyone has their second job. Mine has just been academics for the past 4 years. It's been work so many hours for school so that you can also afford to work in music.
Well, that's awesome. Julia, I admire your journey to getting to where you're at now. We're going to take a quick halftime break here, play your new song, Before we get to it though, I want you to kind of tell the fans out there maybe a little bit about your style before we play your song for those who aren't familiar with you.
Well, I've kind of coined a new term. I call it ECM, electronic country music. It's basically country music you can dance to. That was my entire goal. So hopefully everybody likes it.
Well, I definitely like it. It gets me grooving. I think it's going to get everybody out there going. Sean, the intern, are you excited? I know you've checked out Texas Free Fall, right?
That's all I'm waiting on, man. I'm waiting on that. I'm going to be out here whipping it.
All right, so we're definitely going to play that one first then. Give a call into the studio on the other side of this. I'm going to give out my DraftKings lineup and tonight's winners, and we're going to have Julia Cole tell you a little bit about her upcoming music, and, of course, she will be performing at South by Southwest, so we're going to let her tell you about that coming up as well. This is Texas Free Fall. Give a call in, 657-383-1868. Get off of your seat, ladies and gentlemen, and get it moving.
Texas Free Fall. Texas Free Fall. Red, white, and blue flags are flying. Neon lights are blinding. Got 8 seconds, show me how you riding. How you riding? Free fall. Texas free fall. Crack that whip and rodeo and whip to that rodeo. Whip and rodeo and whip to that rodeo. Free fall. Drop it, drop it, drop it, drop it, drop it. Texas free fall. Texas funnel cakes, chicken legs, curly fries, and get it off for free 'cause the boys are buying. Cutting in line, ain't even trying. Hey, ain't even trying. Crack that whip and rodeo and whip to that rodeo. Whip and rodeo and whip to that rodeo. Whip to that rodeo. To that rodeo. Whip to that rodeo. To that. Texas do-si-do on the floor, getting low with Cotton Eye Joe, rapping for the Alamo. Texas free fall.
And welcome back to the Big D Show. We are live here in the third quarter. Of course, this show is brought to you by All American Clothing. Use the links at negdog.com for All American Clothing, as well as the rest of our sponsors and affiliates. And you will receive an exclusive bonus from the Negdog Radio Network and the Big D Show. I'm joined live in the studio with intern Sean and, of course, Julia Cole, whose song Texas Free Fall you just heard. Julia, thank you for joining us on today's show. What inspired that song?
That song was inspired by the Houston Live Rodeo. and the dance craze, the whip and nae. Every time I, heard that whip and nae song, I always pictured someone cracking a whip because, I'm from Texas and my family's from Louisiana, and one of the gifts I got for, my birthday when I was little was this really cute neon green whip, and I learned how to crack it, and I thought it was super cool. And there's these videos of me when I'm young in this cowboy boots and cowboy hat with my little vest, and I'm cracking this whip that's taller than my body. And I really was doing this, I wanted to combine that dance with the country image that came to my mind every time I heard whip. And the rodeo has also been a huge part of my start. I won this Rodeo Rockstar contest in Houston, and this is post the Texans national anthem, but then I got to sing in Reliant, a few more times because I was doing the national anthem before the rodeo there. And I've also performed outdoors at their carnival stages, and I love going to the rodeo. It's been a huge part of my life the entire time I've been in Houston, and I definitely wanted to give a little tribute to the rodeo.
I can see that, and I definitely think that's a unique perspective, at least on how you saw the initial dance, the whip dance. I think it was very creative. I love the song personally, and it shows off your vocal ability as well. Sean, what do you think about that?
Thank you.
Man, I got to put an ice pack, man. I'm out here whipping it, man. Those vocals were killing it, man. I never really thought that electric music and some country could mix, but you pulled it off.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, and I've definitely got to get this over to the local country clubs. That may draw me in there more often, something I can do maybe a little bit better. I'm not too familiar with the line dancing, even though we are some Southern boys down here in Tampa, Florida. But I don't think me and Sean the intern are often doing the square dancing now.
Hey, speak for yourself there, boss.
I mean, that's part of the reason I'm trying to start the whole ECM thing with my new EP and my album. And it's every time I go to a club, any type of country club, they play the country songs. Everyone enjoys it. They're great. But as soon as they put on wobble or Cupid shuffle or some dance that has a dance beat to it, the energy level in the room always goes up a notch. And I just want to capture that energy but not have to completely switch genres. I want to keep that energy in the country realm.
Yeah, and I think that's absolutely awesome. Like I said myself, I'm not one to be out there square dancing that often. But if I have something that I know how to do and it's still able to incorporate the genre and the aspect to, the country scene is huge. A lot of people need something to dance to out there. I think you've hit a very unique market with that one. So kudos on that. Julia, before we move on to your upcoming music and what's going on with Julia Cole as of right now, I got to get out to my daily fantasy sports players, my DraftKings lineup of the day, and of course use the link at negdog.com, and you'll receive an exclusive bonus for the NBA tonight. I like Emmanuel Mudiay, Evan Fournier, Gordon Hayward, Aaron Gordon, Nikola Vucevic, Brandon Jennings, Kenneth Faried, and Jahlil Okafor. And in hockey, I like Pavel Datsyuk, Dylan Larkin, Benoit Pouliot, Bobby Ryan, Mark Stone, Mike Green, Anton Strawman. In the net, I like Peter Mrazek, and in the utility spot, I like Hank Zetterberg. And in tonight's games, I'm taking the Wizards at home over the Pelicans, the Magic on the road against the 76ers. That's my lock of the day. I like the Jazz at home against the Rockets, and I like the Red Wings at home against the Blue Jackets. So be sure to use those plays and win along with us here at the Big D Show. Julia Cole, what is your favorite sport to watch?
Basketball.
Really? What's your favorite team? I know that you've said you're from Houston, so are you a Rockets fan?
I'm a Rockets fan, but I've been watching the Vanderbilt team a lot more fervently.
Oh, okay. So we're a home team favorite kind of girl.
Yeah, I guess I didn't live downtown, so I didn't have the opportunity to go to as many Rockets games. I lived in, like, North Houston. But obviously I watch games on TV and stuff, but it's so much fun getting to go to all the games and hang out with everyone.
Yeah, nothing like that environment when everyone's definitely, you got 30,000 people all together going crazy rooting for the same cause. So that college basketball world is definitely something else. I know Vanderbilt's team is very big. So moving on from that, though, Julia Cole, let us know a little bit about what's going on in your world right now. Do you have any projects that are out? Give us a little bit about your discography. Do we only have singles? What do we have coming up in your world, and maybe live performances on the upcoming?
Well, I currently have a few songs that are released as singles: Get Awesome, Wicked Ways, and Turn Down the Sun. I'm about to release Texas Freefall. The music video is already up on YouTube, but the song is not available for purchase or streaming on Spotify or Pandora or anything yet. So that'll come out soon. And then I still have 4 more songs that have yet to be released. And you can see a couple of those music videos. Actually, they're just lyric videos on YouTube, but the new mastered copies of the audio tracks have yet to be released.
Okay, so we'll definitely keep the listeners out there involved and updated on when those will be dropping. Of course, I know a lot of our fans out there listening do like your music and have heard it on our other shows here on the network. And, of course, we are down to our last minute here. We're going to move into overtime with Julia Cole. If you want to join us and hear her song, Get Awesome, to close the show out today, call in 657-383-1868. Julia, any last words to the live listeners before they go?
Well, thank y'all so much for listening, and I hope you check out my website, juliacolemusic.com, or chat with me on Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook. I always message back.
So everybody be sure to go check that out. I want to thank all of my live listeners for joining us. Like I said, if you want to join us in overtime, be sure to give a call in, 657-383-1868. You do not want to miss out on Get Awesome. I love that track as well. So be sure to call in now, 657-383-1868. Juliet, tell us a little bit about this upcoming South by Southwest show. I know that's a huge musical event. Kind of give us the intel on how you got into that. I know you've got a very huge following right now. Do you have some type of connection with another artist that's performing there? Give us a little bit about that experience and when that's coming up and how our viewers can go see that.
Well, I'm signed with CAA, which is an amazing booking agency. They're so cool. They hooked me up. I got to go hang out with J.J. Watt in Houston because he also is represented by them. But they helped me with booking a lot of my shows. That's how I get a lot of places. But the South by Southwest show there's a sync licensing company, which I'm not going to go into detail about what that is, but it's a Nashville-based company, and they have an official showcase stage. And they invited me to come perform on it. So I'll be there March 17th playing that evening at Palm Door on Sabino, and I hope you guys can all make it out. It's going to be so much fun. I got DJ Athens playing in my band, and we're going to throw down. It's going to be awesome.
It's going to be huge, and, of course, my birthday coming up very shortly on the 7th, so knowing that South by Southwest show is coming up, I may be able to make it out to the Houston area. We'll see if the Negdog Radio Network can make a trip out there somehow to see Julia Cole, so I hope everyone out there can come join us. And be sure to check out, otherwise, go check her out in Houston, South by Southwest. It's going to be awesome, and you definitely want to keep promoting Julia Cole to all of your fans and friends who, haven't heard her. She's going to be a huge up-and-coming talent, everyone out there. And don't be late to the party. So, Julia, before we close it down tonight with your song Get Awesome, anything else you want to tell us about, leave us with, a little piece of yourself before you go?
Well, really, I'm so honored to get to speak with all of you, and I think it's so cool how I get to stay involved with sports networks and sports teams and everything in that entity by doing music. Like, this is my absolute dream, getting to combine it all together. So thank you for having me on your show, really.
I want to thank you for joining us. You're welcome back whenever. And, of course, we'll have to bring you back on soon. When more of your new music drops, we'll be sure to play it here on the show. And, of course, everyone out there, be sure to support her in our 64-artist Negdog.com tournament. Of course, the top 16 in that will be featured on our Negdog.com mixtape coming up. So vote Julia Cole into that and help promote her. She's just continuing to blow up. Like I said, Julia, I want to thank you for joining us on today's show. Sean, do you have any last words before we close it down with Get Awesome?
No, just shout out to Miss Julia Cole and the Negdog Studios having me on the show again, man. I love it. And I actually do have one question for Miss Julia Cole.
Yeah, shoot.
Do you have a boyfriend?
That is not allowed to be answered on air.
Well, Sean, you had to do it. It was a good attempt for all of our listeners out there. They wanted to know. They're sitting on edge.
Yep, you will just
have
to stay tuned.
Yep, everyone, you're going to have to stay tuned out there. Like I said, Julia is on the rise. She's coming up. I want to thank her for being such a good sport with the intern. Please excuse him. And, of course, once again to my listeners, you're awesome guest, and we'll have you back on soon. Once again, to my live listeners, thanks everyone out there for joining us. And, of course, we will be on tomorrow again, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Turn up that volume button. Once again, this is Julia Cole with Get Awesome. Thanks for joining us, and we will see you tomorrow.
Thanks
so much, Julia.